Are you new to junk journaling? Or have you just lost your mojo? Well, I have the perfect solution for you this morning. Hi, this is Kelly with Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. And today is our last gathering retreat video, and I'm going to be showing you what my swap was at the retreat. Everybody got one of these. I made 24 of these, I think. But before I show you that, I wanted to show you a quick Dollar Tree haul that I did. Not a big one, but I finally found one of these sewing kits. I want to use this in my sewing journal. I'm going to take and coat these spools in Crystal Effects, and they will become dangles, either within my tassel or off the pages, so that the thread doesn't come unwound. Then I've got the buttons and the snaps, things that I can use within the journal. So I finally found one of these. I have seen that these scissors are worthless for cutting, but I can glue them together, glue the blades together, and they also will make a nice dangle at the top of the tassel. So there's that one. Then I found these papers. Now, I had seen this paper before at my Dollar Tree, and I just didn't know what I was going to do with it, so I didn't buy it. But then at the Dollar Tree in Mountain Grove, Missouri last week, I found this. And it reminded me of mermaids and unicorns, and I've been saving stuff for a mermaid journal. So this is going to become the cover of my journal, and then this will become the inside, front, and back covers of my journal. So I'm still saving for that. Okay, now to get to what you came to this video for. As I said, I made 24 or 25 of these. Everybody in the retreat got one of these as their welcome box from me. Now, a lot of people did small things like, I've got to find a different place to put that. the glue tip, just some papers. But then there was me. I wanted to take advantage of doing a destash in my craft room, and I didn't even begin to make a dent. So I went through all of my laces, or most of my laces, and every box had a lace tassel on it with a jumbo pin. Now the box, you're probably thinking, where did you get 25 cracker boxes? Well, I had purchased a case and a half of Townhouse Original crackers during the holidays, and we dry canned them into mason jars because we go through them a lot. So I had the boxes, and I've started to, in fact, I had broken a couple of them down, and then I thought, you know what, those are going to be perfect. So I broke them all down to start with, so they took up less room while I was storing them. And then I just glued them back together with the hot glue when I got ready to put the boxes together. This is another part of a ribbon that I had a whole bunch of, so it was perfect for handles. And then the idea was, if you're stumped for for a place to start, this is a basic journal. The box is your cover. You have laces for trims. And inside you're going to see everything else that you would use to make a basic journal. And by the time you get going through the basic journal, you may have already come upon a theme or a color or what you want to do. But it gives you the base for a journal. So we're going to start with that. I'm going to start with the papers. Actually, I'm going to start with the bags and papers. These apparently have started to get unpacked. So I had smaller papers and bags. Now I had a larger lunch bag. I had the silverware bag. Then they got a time card. They got a smaller piece of the green paper, small notebook paper. I'm not sure what this paper came off of. I think it's a wrapping paper from Dollar Tree, and then this paper, and these all came from Dollar Tree. I have several of these that I got from a vintage thrift mall, and I have some of these. Everybody got one of these. I don't think I did any Christmas, but there were two kinds of all seasonal kind of things that I did, and everybody got one of these. This is part of a border strip from the teacher's aisle at Hobby Lobby. And I just gave them a section. And then I don't know where I got it, but I had a whole stack of this ribbed cardboard. So everybody got that. Let me move my sewing kit out of the way, because I'm going to need the chair over here to put stuff. Okay, then at another thrift store, I found an entire ream. I think I have probably 500 sheets of this gold glitter paper. It's gold on one side. I guess it is gold on both. So that's nice and bright. And then there was this piece of, it's not cardstock, but it's a little heavier than printer paper. So everybody got one of those. And then everybody got, let me go to that one last. Then there was this paper pack that I put together from all the different papers that I have. They got a piece of yellow copy paper, this graph paper. Now this is from a pad from Dollar General. It's graph on one side, notebook on the other. Children's alphabet pad. This is from Dollar Tree. I had some wrapping paper from Simplicity that I had on Joann's. They got a piece of that because I know some of them had been doing sewing journals. They got the pink copy paper. They got this cool little honeycomb packing paper. They got a piece of green ledger paper. Now the music papers I got from out of my books, and they're still hinged in the center, although you would want to reinforce them, but it allows them to do a double page spread of the music paper with the music going the right direction. Then there was the yellow Lego pad, regular graph paper. This was an advertisement with Michaels. When I used to teach at Michaels, I have a whole pad of these. And then there was this finger paint paper, green copy paper, graph paper from Stampin' Up, the wedding tissue paper, and then this graph paper from Stampin' Up. So they had all of that. And then, well, there's more. Then everybody got one of those vintage tags that I made. They got a tissue roll with ribbon. Now everybody listed what their favorite color was. And so I did the ribbons in their color choice. They each got a peach and a blue polyester bow. Then they got this satin bow in blue. I have a whole bunch of those. They got this piece from a wedding dress that I purchased at a thrift store. Then they got this piece of lace, and everybody got a piece of the lace, so they had the full floral medallion there. They got this lace that I purchased on clearance from Hobby Lobby. They got 2 scallops of that they could work with. Then I have a whole bunch of this, and I'm not sure why everybody that got 2 pieces of this. It may have been I just had a couple stuck together when I packed the box. And then there was this piece of plumber's tape. It's foil on one side, and it's sticky on the back. Comes in a huge roll. Got inspired with this from Tim, and you know who Tim is. And last but not least, there were playing cards and ephemera that you could work with. So there was this huge playing card. You could score this down the middle and turn it into a mini journal inside the kit. And then there was everything in here to work with, and I'm going to dump it out. I had enough of these envelopes from Stampin' Up! Where I had taken all my dies out and put them on elastic, or on magnetic sheets, and stored them in my card sleeves. So I did have a whole bunch of those. Then, like I said, this one particular kit was done in blue, so they got blue paper clips, buttons that had blue. Now, this one was red because I got these at Ollie's. There were 5, I think, to a card, 6 to a card, and there were no blue ones. So whatever was left, that's what that person got. And then blue buttons. So there was that ephemera. An ATC size piece of linen. A vintage toned doily. A piece of book page that was left over from where I cut those tags down. Another piece of that. And they got HGTV Home paint chips. And I wanted to make sure I had 3. So if I didn't have 3 in a color tone I liked, I threw in a coordinating color. That would make a nice sailing journal. Now this piece was from Stampin' Up! And I cut the doll out, and then so they had the doll because I had the die, so it was easier for me to cut it out, and then they had the negative. And then there were bits and pieces, we'll get to those in a minute. There were chip pieces from where I cut out my ribbon bobbins. And so they had 3 labels, 3 stars, and 3 hearts. Sounds like Lucky Charms, doesn't it? And lastly, there was a set of playing cards that I have hundreds of these. So they got a quilting card. They got this card. This one is from Dollar Tree. These you may be able to find at your local quilt store. And then they each got 4 trivia cards from the Golden Girls trivia game. So that was everything everyone got in this kit. Isn't that just so much to play with? So you can start with the basics, and then you can just take off and make whatever you want to make. So there is that. Whoops, and I just folded that up. That's okay. I want to put these in here too. So that was what everyone at the retreat got. Plenty to get you started on working on a journal, and then you can just, as you start playing with stuff, you get ideas. And this was a perfect launching pad for that. If somebody came and they didn't have a lot to work with, so they had a starting point, and they could take it home, and when they get a day where they're just, I don't know what to work on, they can go for it. Now, I did not include napkins in these kits because I knew that Big Mama had a lot of napkins that she was going to be sharing, and they could go through that and pick out what they wanted. So that's going to do it for me this morning. I'm not sure when I'm going to be back this weekend. I'm trying to get everything finished here and then lined up, because on July 1st, we're going to start our 25 days of Christmas. We're going to be working on Christmas cards, and I may throw in other little Christmas items along the way. And we're going to be working on the Pink Christmas Journal. I'm probably not going to start the Pink Christmas Journal until the 2nd week in July, but we'll have plenty of time to finish it. I'm also going to be looking at entering some writing contests in August, so I'm going to be roughing out drafts of that, and I'm going to be back to working to trying to finish up my manuscript. So it's written, I just need to kind of pull everything together. Kind of like starting with a base journal and then seeing what I want to add. So that's going to do it for me in the studio today. I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe. Remember to like, to share, and subscribe, and creative blessings.